Hi, Kevin Murray here. Today we're going to talk about exit preparedness and how to build the value of your business. So if you're a business owner and you're growing with an eye towards handing off the business or selling it, or just want to grow your business, this information is for you. So why would you run a business like you might sell it someday? Well, number one is that you will exit your business. It happens to everybody, from death or disease, or just you get tired of it, or you actually do a strategic exit and you take a lot of money off the table. But everybody exits every business at some point. So that's going to happen. But if you grow your business and you run your business with an eye towards the next owner, that helps you grow your earnings. And it allows you to step away and enjoy your life in the meantime. And then when it's time to sell your business, it's worth a whole lot more. So a business that can generate earnings without you behind the wheel and driving the business all the time is worth a lot more than a business where you're indispensable, where the buyer basically is buying your job versus buying your business. That's a big distinction that the buyers are going to be looking for. So quick notes about the timing. The best time to think about exit strategies and exit preparedness is when you start your company. And if you didn't do it then, the next best time is to do it now. And the worst time to be thinking about going to market is when you think it's time to sell or something unexpectedly happens and you got to make a move quickly. You're going to leave a lot of money on the table. So you want to be doing some of this work in advance of it's time to sell now. And the more time you can work on the key value components that we'll talk about here, the more your business will be worth at sale. So if you have a couple years runway to get ready, that's great. If you've got, the more time, the better. So again, the more time you can work on this, the more valuable your business will be at sale. And it's just a sneak peek of what's ahead. We're going to look at a bunch of different components of how to maximize your value. But number 3 is the organizational and operational readiness. And there's a big benefit here that if you take the time to document your company and your process, things are clearly outlined how you do your business, and you have standard operating procedures, that component alone can add between a half to 1 times earnings to your valuation and your sale price. So if your business is throwing off $500,000 of earnings, that could be worth another $250,000 to $500,000 just by having like that book that talks about how you do your business. So I did it based on $300,000. So again, it's well worth it to do that documentation. So the old way of going to market is like all of a sudden you decide it's time to sell, you get a valuation, usually it's less than what you think your business is worth that you've worked so hard to build. You find a local business broker, and that some of the challenges with that way are that you haven't been thinking about the best buyers. You're just going to look for a buyer. Maybe you didn't plan and build your business to prepare to get the best sale price. And with a local business broker, typically they're just going to put up a listing in a lot of different places and find people that are looking to buy a business. It's extremely passive. It's kind of like, in real estate, you give somebody your listing for your home. Well, they're going to put it up on the MLS. They're going to list it. They might do an open house. They're going to do some stuff, but they're not looking for the best buyer for you. They're just looking for any buyer that's willing to pay the price. And again, they're leaving money on the table, leaving your money on the table. So the better way is to have the buyer focus in everything that we do as we're planning and preparing. And we might have buyers in 5 or 6 different markets that might love to buy your business. But the kind of questions we need to answer while we're building the business and getting ready for exit. So how confident, from the buyer perspective, they're thinking, how confident am I that I'll continue to receive these earnings? And can I grow this business? And so we're looking for the best buyer, not just any buyer, because the best buyer will pay a premium for your business. So the 5 keys, I'm going to roll them out real quick, then we'll spend a little bit more time on them. Is your financial preparedness, the leadership readiness, the organizational and operational readiness, the timeline that you give yourself, and again, this buyer focus that's going to take us into the marketing phase where we're going to be marketing your business to the best buyers, not just seeing who's ready. We might find a company that didn't even think they were in the market to buy a business, and they'll pay a premium for your business. So I like to think about putting together this book that eventually we're going to create. And we're telling a story. And with your financial preparedness, we really can't change a lot historically, but we can tell a better story about it. With the leadership readiness, that's really up to you. And we can have conversations about that. With the organizational, operational readiness, that's something that we can work on and upgrade within 3 months to a year or two prior to sale. That can make a huge difference in your valuation. Again, the timeline, that's up to you. The buyer focus and the thinking about the buyers while you're working on your business, the sooner we start doing that, the better. So if we can work on all these things, change the story we tell and improve the quality of the information, that's part of what we want to do. So again, we can't change the history, but we can share a better story about the future for the buyer. So digging into each one a little bit. Financial preparedness, that's looking at your sales and earnings growth, looking at the strengths and weaknesses. We can recast the financials to take out excess owner earnings that the new owner will get to enjoy and do whatever they want with. So that's an important piece here. We also want to look at your marketing and sales history. Who have you been marketing to? What are you currently doing online in the real world? How are you attracting new clients? What are your marketing partnerships? And this we can also work on and upgrade. I've helped a lot of clients get into new markets. And that really makes a big difference when you're going to market. Number 2, leadership readiness. What makes it a good time to sell for you? It could just be that the market says it's a great time to sell. And are all of your shareholders and stakeholders are on board? That really matters a whole lot in terms of the readiness to do this process. Emotionally, are you ready? Do you know what's next? Are you just done and you're ready to move on? Or are you really ready to kind of give up the reins and let somebody else take over the company for you? Or are you willing to stay on a little bit? That could matter a lot. Some people want to do that to, navigate a smoother transition for their clients that they've built up a clientele. They want to make sure they take care of them. And that'll make a difference in terms of the value, what you sell for. Again, the third thing is organizational, operational readiness. Can the business operate without you? Are the processes and procedures outlined in really great detail, and are they followed? So a lot of places have standard operating procedures, but they're not followed, so they're not worth a whole lot. And again, the big benefit that a business is well documented will really boost your sale price. So we already talked about that a little bit. Timeline, have you been running the business in preparation for a sale? Are you thinking about a strategic exit, or is this something you're just starting to think of now? Again, so don't be in a hurry to sell if you can avoid it, but let's get more prepared. Let's do this work together. Number 5 is having that buyer focus and marketing the business. So we're looking for synergistic buyers that want your customers, they want your process, they want your people. There's something about your business that people, the right buyers, are going to pay a real premium for. That's what I mean by synergistic buyers. Also, the deal structure and the flexibility you might have. There might be tax advantages to taking out a payment or earn out over a few years. It might work out a whole lot better for you than just getting a big lump sum. But we're also going to develop a marketing strategy to reach these people that, again, they might not be in the market. They might not think that they're a buyer, but they could be the best buyers. And we want to start that right away. So marketing versus listing, I touched on, but listing with a broker is just really, really passive. And that's going to yield a low value of the sale price for you. And a lot of times they're going to just try to reach your local competitors. That's probably the worst place to try to sell. We want to develop a custom business-specific marketing plan to reach the best synergistic buyers. That's going to get you the highest value. And we might also be reaching outside a local business pool and buyer pool and look to regional and national companies that may want to come into this marketplace. They might want your business and they value you more than a local competitor might. And there's also this idea of a controlled auction. Instead of just putting up, oh, here's the business, it's a sale, it's $5 million. We get the information to the right buyers and we develop an auction process that can really help to find the buyers that really want to pay more for you, and that can help bid up the price. So just real briefly, a lot of what I've learned is from doing my own business. I built a company over 20 years where I started out up in Maine, expanded through New England, built the business and teams. I had offices in Florida and Connecticut and Maine. Eventually was doing projects all across the country. By way of background, I went to school to study physics, believe it or not, at Worcester Polytech. Worked with a solar company developing national dealer marketing programs. Did my energy conservation business, Sebago Energy. And about 20 years ago, I started Earthlight Consulting and Energize Your Business, which is all about helping companies grow and scale. And I've actually worked in 30, 40 different industries using all the tools that I've developed, growing my businesses to help other people grow their businesses, and in a lot of cases get ready for an exit, a sale, a merger, or acquisition. So what's next is, if you think you're close to exit and you're starting to think about that, or you like what we've talked about here, we want to accelerate the readiness, like get you ready sooner rather than later. Big part of that is just looking at a historical financial review, coming up with some ideas of valuation. We also want to look at your operational and organizational documentation. What do you have in place? Review that, look at how we can upgrade that. The same with the sales and marketing. We want to think about other markets that you can reach while we're getting you ready to bring your business to market. We want to be thinking about how we're going to market your business to the potential buyers. So generally what we'll do is we'll have some conversations. We develop a memorandum of understanding that guides the relationship. We begin our calls, the research and the preparation, and that's what's next. So give me a call if this resonates for you. I'd love to help.